Hello, and welcome back to another edition of All or Nada According to Jack with your host, Jack Toledano. This is another video that I am recording here at Studio Toledano North. So, based on my background, what do you think we're going to talk about today, children? Oh, God. So, here it is, July, what's today's date? Look on my watch here. It's June 18th, right. Tomorrow is June 19th, or the new holiday, Juneteenth. I would like to extend the warm wishes to those who celebrate. Very nice commemorative holiday. But in any event, so here it is, June 18th. So my large brother, John Lass, had suggested to me the other day, it's June 14th. What happens on June 14th? That's the day that Kramer Newman complained about Keith Hernandez screwing up their ball game that they went to. I think in 1987, was it? Yeah, whole comedy ensued. And then the day after, June 15th, that is a day that probably one of the best days in Met history and also one of the worst days in Met history. So back in 1977, the Mets traded Tom Seaver to the Cincinnati Reds for I don't know, Doug Flynn, bunch of Steve Henderson, a couple other scrub players, Pat Zachary, number 3 and number 4 pitcher at best. So that was known as the Midnight Massacre, and plummeted the Mets down into the dark days of 1977 to 1983, where they were in last place just about every year. So then in 1983, June 15th turned out to be a very pivotal day because we got this guy, Keith Hernandez. Yes, Keith Hernandez came to be a Met, and then they convinced him to stay with the Mets. He re-signed. He stayed with them until 1990 or 1991. Some great years ensued, which brings me to the topic we're going to talk about today, which is a rant on 2 scales. So number 1, so you have these know-it-alls on Facebook, and some of them write for SNY of all things. SNY being the sports channel that broadcasts most of the Met games. So you got these guys every freaking day. They're putting the Mets down. Oh, they're doing this wrong and they're doing that wrong, and their pitchers can't pitch and their hitters can't hit, and they're talking about Daniel Vogelback every day. It's like open season. Which, you know what, I'm not defending him because, he sucks. He's done a terrible job, but we'll get to him. So that's it. I mean, these people, don't they have anything better to do with their life than just write a column about how bad the Mets stink every day? We know they fucking stink. They're the New York Mets. Even Keith himself said it. They probably have one of the highest payrolls in baseball at what, 300 million or whatever. But he's like, but they're still the Mets. Keith said that. Yeah, sprinkling some Met in there. So last year they had 101 wins. This year they're now 33 and 38. So this weekend, they faced the St. Louis Cardinals. Now, notwithstanding, Sue sends me a text. My wife, Susan, never watches the freaking baseball game. So she sends me a text. Ooh, those Cardinals have nice uniforms. I don't know if you noticed yesterday, but they were sky blue uniforms. with the St. Louis insignia and the Cardinal on top of it. Yeah, nice uniforms, but we should have fucking taken 2 out of 3 against them. I mean, it's sickening. So I'm going to go to some. So we lost 2 out of 3 to the Cardinals. We beat them Friday night 6-1. We lost to them 5-3 yesterday. We lost to them 8-7 today. Carlos Carrasco, what do I think the problem is? It's a combination of both. You can't just put it in one place. The hitters haven't been hitting enough, but the pitchers haven't been keeping us in games. I mean, let's look at today's game, for example, which thank God I was not watching because I was busy putting up what the hell is it called? Crown molding at my place upstate. So if you saw my last video, I did a little sneak preview of the crown molding, but thank God I didn't watch the game. Thank God I don't even get SNY up here, which, you know what? The way they've been playing, I really don't miss it. So let's go to the box score of today's game, for example. St. Louis Cardinals, what's their record? Well, we'll get to their record. It's not, 29-43, and they took 2 out of 3 from the Mets. Good job, guys. Carrasco gave up freaking 5 runs in 3 innings. I mean, bad move not keeping Bassett. Bad move not re-signing Marcus Stroman. I mean, who do you have? You got Tyler McGill. You got Carlos Carrasco. Senga, who's, on and off. He's sometimes good, sometimes not so good. He pitched a shutout the day I went to see them against the Phillies, who now it appears they're the only team that the Mets can beat these days. So let's go back to see. So back to their schedule. So they dropped 2 out of 3 to the Cardinals. Split 1-1 with the Yankees, which is okay. I thought they were going to lose both. Dropped 2 out of 3 in Pittsburgh, which I can understand because Pittsburgh has turned it on. Better team. Got swept by the Atlanta Braves in their building. It's like a house of horrors for us. We can never beat them. Toronto Blue Jays, who are, what are they, like 4th or 5th place in the American League East? They came into Citi Field and swept us. I mean, what the hell? So let's go back to these actual standings. I want to tell you these teams that beat the Mets. Yeah. Toronto Blue Jays, 39-34, 4th place. They swept the Mets in Citi Field. Detroit Tigers, 30-40. They swept the Mets at Tiger Stadium. I mean, you had to have won one of those games. Come on. Let's see what else. St. Louis Cardinals, last place, 29-43. They come into Citi Field and beat you 2 out of 3. I mean, come on. Colorado Rockies, 29-45. They beat us 4 out of 6 this year. 2 out of 3 at Citi Field, 2 out of 3 at Coors Field. I mean, guys, you're going nowhere if this shit keeps up. So anyway, so let's go back to today's box score. I just want to talk somewhat about where the hell is it? Yes. Cardinals 8, Mets 7, box score. I mean, it's just sickening. So really, our only good re-signing, he's done his job. I can't complain. Brandon Nimmo. I used to give him some flack, but you know what? He's gotten a lot better. He hits better. He actually, his average is up to 287. Good job. Starling Marte, 0 for 5 today. 255 average. Francisco Lindor, a real freaking sight for sore eyes on this team. A guy you're paying over 30 million a year. He was 1 for 3 today, but he's batting 213. I mean, come on. Pete Alonso, our big slugger, just came back from the disabled list, getting hit on the hand. Of course, he couldn't keep his goddamn mouth shut in Atlanta. Oh, throw me more pitches like that. Meanwhile, how'd your team do? You got fucking swept there. Dumbass. 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts. 227 batting average. I think you should keep your mouth shut a little more often, not be so arrogant with your 21 home runs. Meanwhile, your team can't win 2 out of 3 against the goddamn Cardinals. Tommy Pham, who they've actually been denigrating, he hasn't been doing that bad. I mean, 252 average. He's gotten some key RBIs for you. Francisco Alvarez, your new catcher, 0 for 4 today, 231 average. I mean, granted, he's 127 at bats. He's got 12 home runs already. But you know what? I'm going to cut him some slack, but welcome to the big leagues. Got to do better than that, buddy. Jeff McNeil, 272, or a guy who normally hits 320. It's just like the virus is contagious on this team. Eduardo Escobar, I've cut him a lot of slack, but 234 batting average. Mark Hanna's actually done a little better. 1 for 1 today and 2 walks, 245 average. These guys have all had periods of struggling. The only one who's, I think, has been consistent all year round, all year so far, is Brandon Nimmo. So then it brings us to Daniel Vogelbach, Mr. Big Shot. So a couple of years back when the Mets had Lucas Duda, yeah, he was a slugger, but he was a dead red fastball hitter. I mean, he struck out a lot. But here's a guy who could clear the fences. He's a good home run hitter at times. But then what he'll do is he'll go into those slumps. Well, he'll only hit home runs after the game's out of reach. So, and I used to call him Mr. After the Fact Duda. So now I'm going to call Daniel Vogelbach Mr. After the Fact Vogelbach. What does he do? He hits a monster. Hits it into the second deck. The score was already 5-1. Who the fuck cares? Why didn't he do that today? So they bring him in. Well, actually, they brought him in as a pinch hitter for Canada late in the game, but unbelievable. You put him in as a pinch hitter in the 9th inning, and the guy's batting 208. I mean, come on. People want to say they want to blame Buck Showalter for this. You just can't. These are major leaguers. They should know better. You know what? You're in a slump. You should be working your way out of that goddamn slump. I mean, what are you doing? Some people want to blame Buck Showalter. They're saying, oh, yeah, he didn't play Mark Vientos enough. In the beginning, he didn't play Francisco Alvarez enough. Well, welcome to the big leagues, guys. You come up here, you're supposed to perform, or you don't stay. Unbelievable. So that's my spiel. What are you going to do? This, they teased us that's what the Mets do. They tease us. They teased us last year, won 101 games, but tailed off at the end of the season, got knocked off, by the Padres at Citi Field. And a team that we kicked their ass last year, the Philadelphia Phillies, beat them 14 out of 19 games. What do? They slipped past us in the postseason and got to the World Series. That's just, I don't even want to start with. So those of you that are friends with me on Facebook saw that I was at the game about a week ago. The first game against the Phillies, where we beat them 2-0. So George, Sam, and Jason, love all you guys. They took me to the game as an early birthday present, which was really nice. And thank God, good decision, George, because had you taken us against the Blue Jays, I would have seen a loss. Instead, at least I saw a win. And you know what? The Phillies are, they are one of our rivals. So it was a good game. What can you do? But so, you go to the game, parking's up to $40 now. I mean, all I can say is thank God they wouldn't let me buy any beer. So what did I order? I ordered the chicken tenders and fries. That was like $17. One of those big beers is like $12-14. Hot dog about this size, it's what, about $7. You know what? You're pricing yourselves out of the game. Go to Oakland and see what the fans are doing there. What do they got? 2,000-3,000 people showing up every day there. Granted, you have a nice stadium here. I got to talk to some Padre fans who actually said, who were in New York, and they said it was a nice stadium, better than Yankee Stadium. Thank you for that. But you know what? Sooner or later, it's going to lose its luster. And, you're only as good as your team on the field is. So get it together, guys. Reminds me of a few years back. I used to get calls from the Mets ticket office trying to get me to buy tickets. And the Mets were already out of it. They had a bad first half. So big sports. They came out and they played great in the second half. Basically, there's an old saying in baseball: it's closing the barn door after the horse has already escaped. That was the Mets that year. So end of the season, I get a call from the ticket office. Oh, how'd you like our second half? I'm like, oh yeah, that's wonderful. How'd you guys do in the playoffs? Or rather, how did we do in the playoffs? Oh, you had no answer for that one. Oh, tis our lot in life to be fans of the New York Mets. Another genius said, who is the one, genius article? Oh, the Mets fans are the most tormented fans ever on the, in all of sports. That's fucking bullshit. Try being a Jets fan. Try being a Detroit Lions fan. Try being a Cleveland Browns fan. Try being a New York Knicks fan. So no, it's not only the New York Mets. Try being a New York Islanders fan. All of these teams. Try being an Oakland A's fan nowadays. This is Jack Toledano. Speaking for all or none, according to Jack. In time, I'm going to be doing more wrestling content. If you think you have the knowledge of new WWE wrestling, old WWE wrestling, and AEW wrestling, and you'd like to maybe consider being on a show with me, hit me up. Let me know. I'd like to talk to you. I'd like to do something a little more permanent, but I haven't found the right situation yet. So have a good one, folks. Speak to you tomorrow. Bye.